Chris Corbett joining us here in about, well, knowing him, he'll be right on time 17 minutes from now at 6:20 Texas time. Chris is with Austin Youth Basketball out there in Austin, Texas. Spent a year, was it a year? In Fort Kent at the University of Maine, Fort Kent. And that 1 year, that one experience shaped his life dramatically. So he's going to talk about that, talk about what they're doing out in Texas, talk about what he does with Austin Youth Basketball. He's done some clinics up here and just fell in love with them. And here's a shirt he hooked me up with. Love the mission, passion, power, purpose. So we got in trouble yesterday. My apologies to Channel 4, to St. John Valley.live, and to Chaz Pelletier, our producer. The music, I'm playing a lot of videos, a lot of, I guess, copyright. YouTube got upset. Facebook, apparently they don't have enough money. So the issue is, I don't know, in talking to Chaz yesterday, oh, thank you, Carl Terrio. The tennis nets are up, folks, here in Fort Kent. 2 courts down there at the Gel Bear complex. And looks like it's time for Carl Terrio to lose. I'll put it out there, Carl. Let's play a super set high school style and see who comes out on top. My first serve percentage is horrible, and my second serve percentage is not too much better. So the music, and I can serve and volley horribly. The music issue brought us to the conclusion that we need to play local music. So, for example, the piece that opened the show is No Property by Empty Head, a group. Hold on. Listen to this stuff. So we need local music here. We need Taylor Tiger Martin's fiddle work. We need the Deuce, Mr. Steve Doucette, and Mr. John Coletta, Mr. Kurt Harvey, Miss Sylvia Dow Harvey, and who'd I miss? Oh, Mr. Doug Clapp, of course. The staff, Infection, we need some of their tunes. I mean, we got to roll out local music here. We are a locally grown group. Why not? I'm just trying to, hey, listen, it's Friday morning, a little behind in the times here. Oh, look at that. 11 years ago. Those are my 2 wonderful daughters. And that's my chest hair in the background. Anyway, we want to play local music here. The challenge is I only see 2 songs here by Empty Head. There's No Property, and it's a 6-minute cut on YouTube. So we're going to have to get creative. I was going to play a DVD, and then I said, how the heck am I going to play that? I don't have that in my laptop anymore. I might be able to play it on my old school. I was going to play a CD. I think I can play that on my DVD player. I do have one of those. You know what those are? So the one thing with Chris Corbett is his jumper is not as good as mine. So maybe, just maybe, I don't know if that'll jeopardize our connection. Not literally, but figuratively, if we were to go take a couple jump shots outside. The weather here is probably not like Texas. A little overcast today. We will get into weather momentarily. So let's get creative, Chaz, if you're out there, bud, and anybody else, quite frankly, on local music. There's just such good French toast. Awesome. Empty Head, I've already mentioned them. What was John Clavette's band there back in the day? They were good. My buddy John Blanchett down in Portland, he's kicking out some good tunes. Mr. Roy does some solid stuff on the line. I've seen him Facebook Live acoustic. So I need a hub here to play this music right off my laptop in an ideal world. Let's take a look, drum roll please, at the morning weather. Beautiful yesterday, just absolutely beautiful. I did not have any sunscreen. I don't know if I looks okay, but it was just great. Nice day here in the valley. And then, the good thing, Carl, is that we got snow on the way, I think. But let's see if we're gonna get hit here or not. I just don't know. Let me share my screen here. Meteorologist Eric Werntgen. If I was a meteorologist covering the St. John Valley and Aroostook County, I'd have a hard time with my height, or a good time actually. But if I had to point down to Portland, probably pull a hamstring. Screen share. Boop. Yep, let's share that one. We could play, you want to play Pictionary, we can do that at some point. Trying to get a teacher or an administrator on this morning. I don't know if it's going to happen. Kind of last minute story of my life. Let's blow this up. And here we go. Yep, there it is. The haunted orange right here. Look at this garbage. Winter weather advisory. That's why you keep your Nordic skis handy. But it looks like 70% chance of rain and snow today. And you got to be kidding me. Overnight low 26, Mother Nature. Saturday, 100% chance of snow, then rain, then snow. Make up your mind. Saturday night, snow and breezy. Sunday, chance of snow showers. Then chance of showers and breezy. Can we open up Lonesome Pines trails and do some skiing? I don't know. Goodness gracious, people. Well, we're going to stay positive. It could be worse. We could be in the middle of a pandemic. Sorry, we are. So a little snow is not going to hurt us. Just trying to get to my live feed here on Facebook. See if anybody's out there. So I am looking for local music. I did want to mention too. Here we go. 3 people with us. Tonight, couple things coming up. Let me get off the weather here because but look at Monday. Hey, there's the bright spot. Back to 48. So it looks like we got one of those fronts, whatever you call them, coming through. Cold front, warm front, whatever. Sometimes they mix together and make a big mess. What did I do here? Sorry, stumbling around. Yeah, tonight. So here on this platform, stjohnvalley.live. Wake Up SJV is going to say good night to you as well. We're going to do Friday Night Warrior Lights. That will be the second installment. We're going to do that every Friday until graduation, which we're going to figure out when that is. I think they've nailed that down. Excuse me. So yeah, we'll be at the fields. It was a downpour last week on Friday, and looks like some more garbage tonight, but we don't care. We are going to run the clock for 20 minutes, 20 seconds, and we're going to have an imaginary game on the field. We're gonna have the lights on, and we're gonna have a virtual party. I've got some seniors lined up to interview. Desiree Hafford's coming in. I think Riley Sibley, I saw her walking yesterday, so I I talked her into that. We're hoping to get some others. Eden Parody comes to mind. We had Susie on yesterday, his mother. And we're going to talk to the seniors about their best memories and just a way to honor them. Now, 8:20, why 8:20? That's military time, folks. Military time, 2020. We'll put up the score 20-20, and we'll just roll it out. And we're going to have that music situation again, but we're just going to play it. We're just going to play it, folks. So if there's any artists out there watching, I don't know, Adam Levine, you watching today? Can you give me some copyright abilities to play Maroon 5? Who else? I don't know. Hook us up. So we'll do it. We'll do it. And I also want to give a plug to No Nonsense. So they are coming up tonight, I believe. Where is my lid? They're coming on at the same time. And I want to give a shout out to Mr. Josh Nichols over there at Crossings. Hooked me up with this great hat and some great sushi, by the way, yesterday. But they've got a show they roll out. Nicole is really killing it. No Nonsense will be on tonight, 8 o'clock, same time. So I think we may try to connect back and forth, plug each other's shows, so to speak. And we're really, really looking forward to it. We would call one of them this morning, but we don't want to wake them up. They're doing the late show. So we don't want to rattle them too much. But I had the tuna sushi bowl, and it was incredible. A nice little sauce. We mixed that all together, and it was a heck of a deal. $14, and the tuna was coming out like when you fish for tuna at the ocean. So we'll do it, and it's going to be a great night. So we'll have a couple things going on. We are in talks of we'll talk tonight and see what else we can roll out. Whatever you can do, folks, to stay home and stay safe. I want to make a point. If you are to show up tonight at the fields, stay in your vehicle, and certainly don't roll in with a one of those white living room on wheels that some of you folks have. Those Tahoes, those Yukons with 25 people in the back. Please, immediate family members only. And if you're going to tailgate, it's a 10 feet. We might have to put X's down there in the parking lot. Or nobody will show up. But as long as you're with me in spirit, I think we had about 20 people live last week when we did it. And just a thing to do. National NFHS, National Federation High School, I think kind of started this nationwide. Evan Graves, my good buddy, the athletic director over there in Caribou, had rolled it out first, I believe, in the county. So we jumped on and decided we're going to just do this every Friday until graduation. I believe that takes us to June 5th. Probably will be the last installment of Friday Night Lights, Friday Night Warrior Lights. If you need a good read, not a movie, read the book first. You need to read Friday Night Lights. If you're a sports fan like Chris and myself, Chris Corbett coming up momentarily, folks, brace yourselves with Austin Youth Basketball. If you are a fan of sports and high school sports specifically, you need to read Friday Night Lights. Great story about Texas. Hey, that's kind of ironic, Chris. Texas football, where the high school stadiums are seating I'm probably exaggerating, but, upwards of 50, 100,000 fans watching high school football. And I believe it's the story of is it the Perryman or the Perman high school team? But what a book. Great read, pretty quick. Even for me, it's a quick read and well worth it. Friday Night Lights. But we have Friday Night Warrior Lights is what we're rolling out. Let's take a quick look at what happened nationally in sports last night. Oh, nothing. Nothing happened. The Las Vegas, what are they called? Is it did they keep the Raider name? Yeah. Raiders Las Vegas debut will be versus the New Orleans Saints on Monday Night Football. There's a game. That is a game. I would highly recommend checking that out. The schedule is out. Oh, great. The NFL schedule's out, folks. So we'll check the now. What are you Patriots fan? I'm a Giants fan, but what are you Patriots fans gonna do? You gonna grab some Tampa Bay Buck gear, or are you gonna stay loyal like I have with my Celtics all those years? We don't know. We just don't know. Rumor has it from reliable sources that as part of Friday Night Lights, we will have a drone flying overhead, brought to you by, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I'm putting you on the spot, Mr. Mitch Daigle over there at the St. John Valley Tech Center. Ran into his kids on a nice walk over in Wallagrass yesterday, and he tells me via Facebook, and Facebook's reliable, man. If you hear it on Facebook, believe it. He's going to try and get some drone shots for us tonight overhead. So that will be extremely interesting if he can make that happen. Drone action. So right now we have watching with us Amy Dupre-Willette. How you doing, Amy? And congratulations and thank you for being a hero among us. Amy is a nurse over there at Northern Maine Medical Center. Miss Dawn Sear is watching. The patriarch, the leader of one of the best families in Fort Kent, the Sears. How you doing, Miss Dawn? Chris Corbett's watching, and he'll be on here in, 2 seconds. Chaz Pelletier, producer. What's up, Chaz? Angela Daigle-Boulier. She's got a senior, she's got an 8th grader, and she's got an ankle biter. What year is Chance? Chance. Great names. We got Chance, Blake, and Bree. Brianna is graduating. She'd be a good guest. Angela, you want to come on here? Let us know. We'll bring you in here momentarily. You in? Thumbs up or thumbs down, Angela? Anyway, let's roll Mr. Chris Corbett in here. And really, really have been looking forward to this. Chris has been awesome to me personally and to this area. So without further ado, we're going to admit Chris into St. John Wake Up SJV. Hey, Chris, good morning. You are live. You're live on SJV. Wake Up SJV. I cannot hear you.
First time on Zoom? No, sorry about that.
Chris, great shirt, my friend. You're rolling it out. I want an extra special thank you for you to wake up with SJV here an hour earlier than us. You're over there in Austin, Texas. It is 6:22, I believe.
It is, and I'm usually up at this time, but my daughter Ellie, who's here to join us for a little bit, is not usually up at this time. So she's doing nice shirt yourself, very nice.
All right, Ellie's rocking. Now, Ellie, show that shirt one more time if you don't mind. Now, I'm going to give a plug to my bloodlines. My brother redesigned that logo on Ellie's sweatshirt. And he got a heck of a deal. I think we gave him $1,000 of Under Armour gear back in the day. So Neil Werntgen, if you need any graphic design work, He's out there in the Phoenix, Arizona area.
Nice.
So, Chris, what the heck is going? This is something I couldn't do on air because of this reason, Ellie. Now, what the heck is going on here, Chris?
So, unlike a lot of people who are suffering really seriously all over the world, like I grew up in Queens, New York, is really devastated, and parts of Texas are as well. But unlike that, my suffering's been limited to business suffering, some family sickness. But a haircut is like something I miss, and so I haven't been able to get one. So even though the barbershops reopen here today in Austin, I thought maybe it would be a good time to get a haircut. I had sent out already before they announced that for the haircutting kit, which I don't know if you know, but they're out of those. They're very difficult to get. You don't know. You have your own haircutting kit, right? So Ellie agreed to shave not to shave my head, but to cut my hair. So I don't know if you want to go for that online or not.
Let's do it. Ellie, this is going to be one of the best assists of your young basketball career. We do want to get you to interview a little bit. It sounds like you're my type of player. You like to block shots, rebound, and now cut hair. So that's awesome. We don't really care about points. We care about the assists and the winning. So, hey, we're ready. This is going to be awesome. Chris, what kind of cut are we getting here? What you got an attachment on there, Ellie? Are you going to try and look like Eric Werntgen?
No. Let's see what we can leave, and then we'll go with it from there. This is Ellie's first haircut. This is my first haircut by someone who's not licensed, I believe. But
now,
how's everyone doing in the valley?
Okay, Chris, is it okay if we talk while Ellie cuts your hair? I mean, is this going to be like a barbershop type situation here? Like
Zoom barbershop.
We have a former superstar, 1,000-point scorer up here in the area. Let me give him a plug because we'll try to bring him on. His name is Chad Jervis down in Westbrook, but he has a place called Goodfellas, a barbershop down there. So I know he's cutting hair and they're happy to be back in business. I've got Chris right across the street from my apartment. Total Look is another place that is cutting hair. But this is awesome, Ellie. Ellie, thanks for getting up. Are you awake? I mean, watch the ears, okay? And are you gonna shave his neck too with a razor or what?
I'm just going down with no guard, not gonna shave it with a razor.
Okay. Ellie, how old are you, young lady?
I am 15 years old, almost 16.
Wow. So you're right in the thick of it here. Huh? Are you remote learning out there in Austin as well?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I'm not very smart. What grade are you in?
I am in 10th grade.
Super sophomore, just like my niece, Mallory, out here.
Yeah.
Now, you play basketball. Any other sports?
No, not currently.
You're one of those, you're specializing.
Any sports except basketball, Eric.
Okay, that's my type of girl.
Just kidding.
I would highly recommend, I'm sorry, Chris, but I would highly recommend, Ellie, for me, I don't know about you, but for me, every winter, let me give you a quick snapshot of high school, and then we're going to let Chris talk here, not myself, but each season ended in tears, okay? Because my freshman year, I got called up to JV, I think about midway through the season. We got a bye to the quarterfinals. We lost on the road. My brother held Mr. Basketball that year in the state of Vermont to 39 that game. Held him to 39. We lost that. But anyway, and then let's go to my senior year. I shot 2 of 11 from the field. We hosted, we were a 6 seed. We hosted 11. Another bye to the quarters, and we lost. And that was the end of my high school career. Crying in my locker room. So anyway, Ellie, I picked up track and field. It's co-ed. I worked on my vertical because I did the jumps, high, long, and triple. right? And I had my sanity until the summer basketball circuit. So
Yeah.
anyway, Chris, talk to me, man. What first of all, what is your connection to the St. John Valley?
Well, it was 1983, and I went to university. I grew up in Queens, New York City. I was a playground basketball player, and I would just kind of stalk and chase and I would be at Shea Stadium quite a bit as well. It was about 3 miles away from me. But I would basically stalk the best playground players I could in New York City. And even though I took up the game late, I was 15, I kind of started to build some skills, but more importantly, a passion for the game there. And ended up going to the University of Maine at Fort Kent in what was a crazy whirlwind of events that had me from Queens to being on Fort Kent's campus in, I think, 3 weeks' time. So for me, it was, New York City at that time was really in a tough place. It was not really at its finest. And where I grew up was kind of like there was the prey and there was the predator. And the kindness, showing kindness was not, it could mark you as the prey. So when I arrived in the St. John Valley, I arrived and I was not in the best place myself personally based on what had gone on in my home, et cetera, like many young people. But the St. John Valley taught me that you could be strong and kind at the same time. And that resilience didn't mean that you had to be cold and put up armor. And that was pretty new to me. I had grandparents that had modeled that for me. But really, that was not part of my everyday living in many ways. So for me, it was a place where I was welcomed. I don't even know that I deserve to be welcomed, to be honest with you. But from my first walk on campus to going to get ice cream at Dickey's, and really, here's a funny story. The most amazing thing for me was walking into Parody's IGA to get some toothpaste and some things. And I had never not waited in line before in my life for pretty much anything I did on a daily basis. There was always a line. So to get on the subway, it was 20 minutes to get your subway token. It was always a line. And I go up, and for whatever reason, there was nobody working at the cash register. They must have run to the bathroom or something. And I literally thought I was in the Twilight Zone. It was such a culture shock for me. So that day, I said, I never want to wait in line again. Like, the stress of being in a line and potentially being late, all that stuff. And that was an exhale moment for me. And it was just symbolic of many other moments, like walking on the Heritage Trail and running up the ski slope. The rituals that so many St. John Valley kids just take for granted. For me, these were huge gifts. So that was my welcome in Fort Kent. And then when I had to leave, because I couldn't find a job in Fort Kent, so I moved down to Portland. But some of my teammates were some UMFK greats like Jim McCluskey, who was one of the people who really helped model that kindness as my roommate as well. And Jeff Pillsbury, Chris Brinkman, my coach was Jim Delias. So when Jim got nominated to be in the Hall of Fame, I wanted to be there for them. So I guess it was 35 years later, I made a trip back there. And I'm a basketball trainer for a living now here in Austin. And so I spent 3 days training the men's team and another couple with the women's team. And next thing I know, you guys called me and asked me if I'd do a clinic for the high school and the middle school. And 4 weeks later, I was back up there. And Larry Murphy's going, Chris, twice in 3 weeks, and you hadn't been here in 35 years. But since then, my connection has obviously grown, and we were actually talking about us doing a clinic there this spring. So, but forever, the St. John Valley holds that special place in my heart, and I always tell my kids about that, and it really helped change or potentially save my life. So I'm always forever.
It's an awesome story, Chris. How long were you in Fort Kent, Chris?
A whopping total of 1.5 years. So
okay.
was monumental change for my life.
Yeah, that's an amazing story. As you know, especially at the university, um, we get so many um, students just like yourself who come from whatever background, whether it be Jamaica or New York City or Lithuania or England. We get so much diversity, but they really, I think the common denominator, so to speak, is the valley and just the friendliness. When I was listening to your story, as Ellie is doing an awesome job, by the way.
Yeah. And
Chris, I think you know Fred Sanchez. Fred came to mind because I recruited Fred out of Queens. Fred is on campus, the first week in the fall, and I get a professor that comes to me and says, "Eric, this guy is making no eye contact with anybody." So I'm like, okay. And so I talked to Fred that day before practice, and I'm like, Fred, what's up? He goes, Coach. He goes, where I'm from, you don't make eye contact with someone in the streets. He says, you keep your head down, you just keep walking. In Fort Kent, as you know, is the opposite. You're driving your vehicle, you're walking, and everybody's saying hello and waving to you. So you say culture shock. I think that is. It's kind of shocking up here how friendly people are. You know what I mean? And you go to some other areas and it's not like that. So that's what hit me. And I'm from Vermont where we hug trees, but it is super welcoming and friendly up here. So
Yeah, and just
Chris,
on
what?
that point, I did connect with Fred, and he was one of the guys that I trained. We talked about where we had come from and the difference Fort Kent had made in our lives, and his story was almost identical to mine. And because we shared those stories, he was extremely coachable, completely changed his footwork and his shooting form. And you're talking about a guy that I think may tie the record for he hit 9 threes in a game. And for him to be so vulnerable to let me mess around with his shot and help him get better, that's very difficult for someone from his background or mine to let someone in like that. It really, I think Fort Kent's a place that helped us do that. So, and I know he's forever grateful. I still stay in contact with Fred occasionally, not as much as I'd like, but I'm still in contact with him.
Yep. How are we doing, Ellie? Do we need to give us a side profile here real quick, Chris? Let's see. Oh, that is awesome. Goodness gracious. Is this how many haircuts have you given, Ellie?
one. Not
What?
even
Including this one, or?
including this one.
All right. Listen, we could share this video out in what's the greater Austin, Texas area called out there? Is it just greater Austin or what the?
Austin. We're in Austin.
Okay, let's share it out there. You got about 5 million. How many people are in Austin, Texas?
Greater Austin has 2 million people.
Oh, so like Fort Kent. So yeah, 2 million people. You could go into business, young lady.
It is like Fort Kent because actually, when you drive down the street here, people do wave. So.
Oh, awesome.
It does have some Fort Kent in it, ironically. But, I just want to say to all the kids that, having been up there and done multiple clinics, couple of things I want to say to them is, I feel for you. This is a rough time, and, I'm not going to be supporting the people that are saying, well, it's not World War II and we're not in the trenches. Perspective is nice, but I definitely feel your pain. And, I want you to know we're all going to be okay. We don't necessarily need a date to know that. And, I don't want you to get attached to these dates. I want you to just focus on being okay. And then also take a look and see what the opportunities might be right now, because for the basketball players, as an example, Eric, I personally don't work out kids on plyometrics that much and I know them inside out because I worked with beach volleyball players in Manhattan Beach, California when I lived there. But their legs are usually too beat up to beat them up some more, in my opinion, from playing multiple sports year round, then a club team potentially. So I don't particularly like to do that with kids. But right now, you have a unique opportunity to see where's the opportunity in this for me to build the best me I want to be. And I think plyometrics would be an example of that, or a basketball player. You can work on speed and agility now because your legs aren't beat up. So I just want to say that. And then I also like to say, I follow Fort Kent Facebook pages, and I think the story about Rocks figuring out that, hey, we're not really a restaurant, we're really a comfort place. Like, so you need to know what is it that solutions that you could really provide in this time, with kindness and hopefully sustainable as well. But I think that story is an important story. They realize, hey, we're not really in the food business, we're in the comfort business. And we're going to send comfort out to all the people that have Fort Kent as part of their lives with whoopie pies. So I just think those stories are out there, and I think they're out there for all of us. And I would just encourage the kids to think about that situation. And I know they already have resilience in their genes, and they're going to be okay. And they also have the great outdoors there that a lot of people in the cities don't really have. So you have some good things going for you. But I'm proud that you guys were able to quarantine before it got there, as opposed to like most of the country and waited till it got here. So you guys did a great job. So I just want to say shout out to the Valley on all that.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah, they say the hardest thing about getting to the St. John Valley is the journey, is the trip. So we've made it hard for COVID-19 to get here too, I guess. Knock on wood. But no, everybody's, we're usually a couple of weeks behind. So we don't know if something's still coming or what type of wave, but we have been trying our best. It's real hard for me, but trying our best to practice social distancing. The outdoor court down there at Riverside is locked up. It's sad, but it's locked up. So we're rolling out our outdoor hoops, and we're trying to do workouts in home and stuff like that. So when we see Ellie in the paint, we can Euro step around her, or maybe if I throw her a shot fake, I get her up in the air, I give her a little elbow and one with my left. I think I could score on her, Chris, in the paint.
I would do about 6 blocks a game. I wouldn't be so confident.
All right, Chris, I've got the up and under. Okay, I had a big man coach in college. I got the up and under. I got the mic and drill. I wouldn't use the mic and drill, sorry. What was his name with the Bucks? Sigma. Remember the Sigma move? I got that. I don't know, Ellie. I think I could get you in the air and get you in foul trouble. But I heard you can block shots. So that, man, I love a good shot blocker. Chris, I think you just hit on this subject, but man, you're a great writer, intelligent, very intelligent with detail. I love watching you work at clinics. So Chris is talking about surviving and thriving and driving to success during COVID-19. That has a nice ring to it. We're okay here. We're at 7:41. I also wanted to ask you though, Chris, what in regards to team sports, when the heck will we be cleared to play? It's tough because, as you and Ellie know, it's a contact sport. So I think people are going to be nervous about even a game of 2-on-2. Can I tell my 8th grade girls on June 1st to go play 2-on-2 at Riverside? Is that going to be okay?
So I'm fortunate enough in that while I'm terrible in the rest of math, I'm pretty good in stats. So I do get up and read the John Hopkins website in terms of what's trending and so forth. But then I also am fortunate enough that a lot of the clients that I have are, I train about 140 kids and have 4 select teams and do camp. So I have a lot of ER docs. I have PhDs of nursing, professors, like you guys have a few up there. I have a lot of that at my fingertips, and they're in the battle. Most of them are living in their garage away from their family on a cot and don't even go in to use the bathroom in their house, really. So I do have conversations with these people, and here's the truth. Your leader, Johnny Coletta, a great man who was in Powell Hall when I was there, we are responsible for these decisions to some extent, and we don't know. And it's heartbreaking because as a leader, you want to lead, but right now leading is waiting. And that's not fun, right? Because I always tell kids to lead, relax, prioritize, make the call, make a decision. Like relax, prioritize, and we can't really make that decision. So I think it's going to be a family. There will be the state, and then it will come down to family decisions. You know, how is your kid's immunity system? These are questions that we need to ask ourselves. And then, you know, I think the answer is probably different for Fort Kent than it is Portland or Austin, to be honest with you too. So that I don't have those answers. It breaks my heart that I can't give my kids an answer. We're waiting to play a select season since it should have started March. I personally, for me, I don't think I need to be the first person to this chickenpox party. We don't really know what the effects of these are. COVID is after you've recovered from it. We're finding out there are more and more after effects in terms of strep, staph, MRSA, other complications with the immune system. So for us, I think now is the opportunity to look inside yourself and to realize the enemy, the rival in your sport is really inside you. It's not the Madawaska Owls. You'll miss the Madawaska Owls one day. They're not the rival. The rival is inside you and what story you're going to create and write right now. And I would recommend that you try and become the best athlete you can be and work on your athletic development, your speed, your strength, body weight strength. As far as any kid who's motivated, you just put it on your Facebook page. We have a course on basketball body weight strength. I will comp that for any kid in the St. John Valley. Okay. It's a 30-day challenge. And if they follow it 15, 20 minutes a day, they will be faster, stronger, and more supple. If they want to work on their vertical, I've got another course on that. We're consistently getting 6-inch gains. I'll comp that for any kid in the Valley because I love that place. And, you know, they did more for me than I can repay. So, you know, the next thing too, start working on your virtual meetings. Like this is our new world. I don't recommend you get your hair cut while you're doing a virtual meeting, but we'll have a course come out on that too. We're trying to figure out what are the problems, how can we help provide solutions, and you know we're happy to help in any way. But I just say look inside, start trying to write your story in this time. I mean, it's not Anne Frank's diary, right? It's just we need some perspective, but there's going to be great stories that come out of this, and I think some of them are going to be written in Fort Kent.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it is going to be amazing. I once again, I just love your perspective, Chris, on everything. Ellie, you're a sophomore out there.
Yeah.
Now, listen, I've talked to, I coach predominantly middle school now, which is a different beast, as you know. My daughter's in 7th grade, soon to be 8th. But I know a lot of my players are just going crazy. The first few weeks, they saw it as an extended vacation, but now they just want to be with their friends. So, Ellie, what do you do out there in Austin? What's a sophomore do to stay sane? And your dad will cover his ears, okay? But let us know, what are you doing out there?
I have been, me and my friends, we go in my backyard and we sit 10 feet apart and just talk to each other like once a week usually. And then I've been very active online, trying to keep in touch with everybody. So.
And
Yeah, it's tough. It's real tough.
We live in a part of Austin where we can go for a walk and safe physical distance from other people.
Yeah, sorry here. Just got a message. No, that's great. I mean, Chris, we have to wait. And that's the hardest thing. What's the old cliche phrase there? The hardest part is the waiting, or the waiting. What is that Tom Petty song? I think the waiting is the hardest part. But
yeah, it is.
But we're competitors, man. We've played. You know, I'm 45 years old now, and I can't stay away from men's league basketball or even a game of 3-on-3. And I play, and I regret it for a week. But I'm itching. I mean, people want to get out there. So imagine people like Ellie's age. We have soccer season coming up. We have all this stuff that's huge up here, and but we just have to wait. So that's great advice. And listen, we don't want to lose. Look, we don't want to lose players like this guy who you use a lot in your lectures.
Yeah, no doubt.
One of the greatest assist men ever. Thank you to my brother Neil once again for hooking me up with that jersey. But what does a player like Steve Nash mean to you, Chris?
Well, I started looking at this analytics movement because a lot of the high school coaches in Texas fell in love with it in terms of measuring everything. And almost every NBA office now has a team of math guys from Cal Berkeley or MIT has a big sports analytics program of these guys. And it really kind of changed the game. And to be honest with you, I resented it because I don't go to MIT and tell people how to do quantitative analysis, and I kind of resented people who never played the game coming and tell us, hey, you need to do this because this is the math. That being said, I've come since to realize there's good points and bad points, but one of the best points they ever brought up is they couldn't understand why everybody that played for Phoenix almost doubled their salary within a couple of years. Like whatever their contract was when they arrived, it would be double when they left. And, everybody like me and you would be like, well, it's because Steve Nash is such a good passer. Like, he gets you involved. And that's true for sure. But essentially, he was only averaging between 2.5 or 3 extra assists per season than the average starting point guard. So the analytics guys kept looking and looking and looking. They make all these spreadsheets and they keep track of everything. And finally, one guy breaks through and figures out why it is. Steve Nash gives 239 high fives per game.
Mm-hmm.
That includes butt slaps, high fives. I don't know what we're going to do about high fives moving forward, but
elbows.
Yeah, but elbows are going to be the new hands. I don't know. So, but at any rate, I think the point was guys like Channing Frye would come from the Knicks. They were the height of average, to be honest with you. I was a Knicks fan, so I know. And next, he's averaging 16 points and 8 rebounds a game in about the same amount of minutes. And the point is, Steve Nash made everyone think they were great. So if you missed your corner jump shot, he'd be like, hey, man, I'm looking for you. Be ready. I'm coming to you again. You're not missing 2 in a row. And when Steve Nash told you that, you felt, wow, like Steve Nash believes in me. So I am good. And they would hit their next shot. So the thing that's very interesting to me about me, though, is the scientists have come to understand that you don't need to have Steve Nash's resume to make people feel that way. So you could be the 9th man on the team and still have that type of positive effect that Steve Nash would have just by keeping track of how many high fives you give. At first, it's cheesy. It feels like, oh, I'm Anthony Robbins. I'm walking on coals of fire. But essentially, it becomes your new normal, and it becomes very authentic. And what people need to do is, I tell parents, stop keeping track of how many points your kid has in a game. Start keeping track of how many high fives your kid gives in a game. So there's one basketball, but you can always make your teammates feel stronger. And the truth of the matter is, I think guys like you, and I told a business leader this in Fort Kent last time I was there, I have no idea how you do your job juggling all those sports, all the weather cancellations, all the updates, all the incoming emails and questions. I have no idea how you do that. I have ADD, so that job sounds like a nightmare to me. But people won't really remember that, Eric, but people will remember how you made them feel. And when you come into a clinic that I'm running and you help, and I'm running around making everyone correct with their shooting form, and I'm holding them accountable, and I'm holding them strict, I don't know if they'll remember that, but I know that they'll remember how you made them feel when they made that shot, or when they missed that shot, but they did everything the right way. So I think that's an opportunity that, Fort Kent already has that inherent kindness, but I would just encourage, some of your younger people to keep doing that and look for opportunities to do that.
Awesome. I mean, that is the power, the purpose, the passion, if I could use your Austin youth basketball saying here on my shirt, but what a great point about a teammate. And isn't that what team sports is all about? It's not about the stats, but it's about having someone like Steve Nash, to watch your back. I've only played with you a few times, but I could tell you that I would have loved to have you as a teammate. I remember playing for Coach Jim Graffam in college at Westbrook College, and we were in practice one day, and someone made a pass, and that pass, it might have been me. It went right through my hands, and that teammate got upset for a second. So Coach corrected that real quick. And your story just reminded me about Nash. He said, how is that going to improve Eric's attempt to catch that next time down the court? So instead of getting on that kid and being negative, say, hey, my bad. I'll give you a better pass next time, even though that pass was perfect. Don't get on your teammate. Don't show that frustration. I never saw Nash do that. He threw a lob to what's his name there, Stoudemire, and he blew the dunk. Nash was probably like, oh, my bad. I'll give you a better pass next time. So it's more the mental aspect, isn't it? And what a great point. And that carries on through life. What are we doing right now in frontline over at the high school when they're making sandwiches and someone drops a piece of cheese or something like that or whatever? Teamwork is in life, right? Ellie knows that. She's had great teammates and she's had bad ones. We all have. So be a good teammate, right? That should be the message.
Well, absolutely. And I think you probably recall this exercise that I led campers through, and it happened here. And it was really a heartbreaking situation because I did not expect to get the answer I got here. But you've seen me do this at Fort Kent. I've done it with the Bengals team. And Coach Fletcher told me it was transformative for his team that season when we did it. It really helped change things. But if you ask 25 players, I asked 25 players at camp, who's your favorite teammate and why? Okay, who's your favorite teammate and why? The things that come up are usually fit in three categories. One, their effort led us by example. When we were down by 30, they still kept busting their tail. We didn't win, but that effort inspired me. Two, they shared. They passed. They played help defense. They sacrificed personal fouls trying to block, protect the rim when I screwed up on the defensive side. So, and then three was they make us feel better. They made us feel good. They made us feel validated. They made us feel when we were down, they picked us up. So those are the three things. So I have probably asked that question to over 1,000 kids, and I would say less than 10 have said, wow, they were a great three-point shooter. Wow, they had the sickest handles. That never comes up. It never. They made me feel special on the team. So, that's the opportunity we have. I haven't seen a talent in Fort Kent that looks like it's going to the NBA. I've played against hundreds of NBA players when I lived in LA, and I know why I wasn't one. But that's the opportunity that we all have. And honestly, I played against Magic Johnson quite a bit in the summer times in LA. And, the first time he came in, I basically got the ball on the wing, gave a head fake, and John Williams, that was playing for the Pacers at the time, was guarding me. And he had a real struggle with eating. So he was really heavy. So I blew by him and I dunked the ball. And the whole gym goes nuts because I'm nobody and I just dunked on a 6'9" NBA guy. But the truth of the matter is John essentially ate all summer long and then he would fast and get in shape. I wasn't playing against John Williams. I was playing against summer John Williams. So Magic had just walked into the gym. He's got next and he's hooing and howling about this. And so we end up losing. Magic has to pick up three players. It was him and this guy, Corey Gaines, that played at LMU and then in the Knicks in Japan. So him and Corey come on next, and they got to pick players. And Magic's like, I want him, and points at me because Magic didn't see the 5 turnovers I had before he walked in the gym. So Magic picks me, and we're going down on the fast break, and I'm like, this is my guy. This is the guy I always wanted to be. And I'm playing with Magic Johnson. My dreams are true. I never dreamed of making millions of dollars. I just want to play with Magic and Larry. So he throws, I'm coming down on the wing, he's on the fast break, and he throws a no-look pass, and I'm not where I should be because I'm too busy watching the awe of Magic Johnson. And he looks at me and he just goes, man, do you know who I am? And he's right up in my mug. And I'm like, yeah. He goes, what do I like to do? I'm like, pass. He goes, you see James Worthy here today? I'm like, no. He goes, you're James Worthy today. He goes, get ready to catch some passes. And he made me feel accountable, but he also made me feel like I could be James Worthy today. And that was a joke, but he didn't make me feel like that. And, you know, the next time I came down the court, same almost identical play. I ran that floor. I had my hands up, caught the ball in the wing, cocked it back to try and slam it, and it unfortunately got blocked by this guy named Juan that played on the Puerto Rican national team. It was a good story, but it didn't really end up the Disney World way. But you know, Magic, he's able to make people feel that way. And you know, we're seeing the Jordan Last Dance series. We saw Kobe, and you know, we're really kind of focusing on the assassin mentality that they keep talking about with them. But I've never really heard anybody say, man, I love Michael Jordan. I love to sit next to the bus with Michael Jordan. I've never said anyone heard say he's the greatest teammate ever. And a lot of people have said that about Magic. So, you know, I just want to say that, you know, one person made everyone better and another person was just on top of their field, and their competitive desire and their work ethic was insane. But I'm a big fan of the Magics of this world. You don't have to be an assassin to be a tough guy, because getting back to Fort Kent, Bill Russell was a happy gentleman, intense competitor. I think 11 rings. Akeem Olajuwon, Magic Johnson. You know, these guys they were happy, they were competitive, they were kind and strong. So I just, in the basketball world right now, we've kind of had the assassin mentality for a while. I'm not opposed